This is Weird Renegade Witches blog. Hit us up when you want some real motherfucking work done. Of course, go to the Weird Renegade website, waywardrenegadewitchesblog.org. See the different frequencies that are there. However, understand 101 monthly lessons will start up again in the month of February. However, I've been busy as what I call my spirit clinic, so it doesn't stop you from, of course, contacting me in reference to 101 lessons that I work with individuals very closely with various issues, various frequencies of spiritual growth and more, and advocating and more of what I do, and any type of course, spiritual guidance and so on. But also understand that Wayward is about that motherfucking spell work. So Wayward is about that revenge, redemption, responsibility, again, and spell work. However, art is occultism. Occultism is a motherfucking art. And you understand that where it's about that underground work. As I used to say, the underground occultism. But as you already know, I am a spiritualist and not an occultist. Because we have too many motherfuckers out there as doing what? Spiritual thugging. Or occult thugging, we'll say. However, I just been sitting back watching bullshit, and I realized 2026 it has to have a different frequency to it. So 2026 should be the year of the nigga free syndrome. Okay, 2026 have to be the year of nigga free season. 2026, the year of nigga free season. I've been peeping a lot of frequencies, and I've been listening to a lot of women and kind of what they're talking about. And I tell many of my clients, why don't you just take the semen off your face and the ejaculation out your throat and stop all this bullshit, especially with these men? You know what I'm saying? Because too many of you women are walking around here with semen on you. And then when you talk to me, you have all that ejaculation in your throat. You coward. No backbone. If I hear one more woman talking about she need to submit to a man, if your man is telling you that you need to submit to him, that nigga like trans. If that nigga telling you that you too masculine, that he feels that he likes a soft feminine woman, he wants a trans. If that nigga is so hyper chauvinistic, because you need to be in your place, that nigga want a trans. If that nigga is so hypersexual on your vagina, that nigga want a trans. We not going to even say gay boys anymore. Just say a trans. If that nigga sitting up there talking about that he don't want you to wear makeup and all that mess, that nigga want a trans. Just cut it all the fuck out. Some of you sisters out here are all involved with the DL whisperer. You don't need him to tell you a fucking thing, because 99% of the time, we don't care if a man is homosexual or gay. We just want him to tell us the what's up, so we don't have to absorb his dick in our vaginas. His contaminated ass dick. We don't need that up in there. Nigga, if that's what you want to fuck with, that's cool. That's what most men don't understand. These gay guys be running around talking about you this jealous and you your man. No, we don't care about that. That's bottom line. So this has to be the year of the nigga free season with all that bullshit. They out here pushing bullshit, talking about if you not married to the father of your child, then the child shouldn't carry the last name. That's cool, because that nigga didn't put in no work in the first place. He only had that sperm. That's all that is. Everything else the woman did. So fuck him. You don't need your last name in the first fucking place. That's hyped up. A woman don't have to get married and carry the male's last name. Either does the child have to carry the father's last name. It doesn't have to happen. That's cool. But some things have to be lobbied. But that's cool. But to be honest with you, it's been that way. It's just some hospitals or whatever, they don't trip on it. But who gives a fuck? They want to play games with child support? Fuck them. I don't want her to be doing this and doing that. If they take that child support money and pay their rent, so the fuck what? The child lives there. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. And 99% of the time, black women don't even ask for child support because we out there working our fucking selves, handling it on our own. And 99% of the time, black men bounce from paying child support. Some of them will purposely quit their jobs. I don't give a fuck. Who cares? Nigga free season. 2026. These men out here playing with your pockets. And you guys out here married to these men, but they playing with your pockets. And don't want to spend. This should be nigga free season. Fuck them. The government out here playing games with women's pockets because they want us under men. They out here trying to restructure pimping and pandering. Women who used to be on their own wheel, handling their own, hustle in the world of sexology. Now they want them under men. Hell no. Nigga free season. We don't have time for this. My son had the audacity to tell me because I birthed him in the world that I'm obligated to take care of him. I said, no, I'm not. Once I birthed you, I'm done. You're in the free world. He's like, what are you talking about? You're my mom, this and that. And I said, no, I'm not. Once I signed that birth certificate and you have a social security number to you, they basically take you away from me and decide what they want to do with you. Once you sign that contract with the Unified School District, we don't know what it is, what it ain't. They put you under, these mandated reporters, right? When I look at Pop the Balloon, I see how boomers and Gen X fucked up as parents. Because the millennials are the ones who then grew up and was part of that system of putting their parents in jail, calling the police on their parents. Right? Nigga free. You got to tell your kids. Because they got to choose. They don't want to listen to you, but they want to pick and choose when they listen to you, when they want something. No, I'm not obligated. According to that birth certificate, America owns you. And then I think another country may owe you. I think you're owned by China. Might be owned by Korea. I don't think I own you anymore as my child. Shit, I don't know who owns me. Shit. How in the fuck on New Year's Eve 40 people die in a fucking fire, I think in New York? How does that happen? That was a sacrifice, right? We have a new face for HIV, now gay women. What the fucks? What's happening? Why would gay women have HIV? And them doing tests on gay women with HIV. Who y'all having sex with? What's happening? Because we understand if you do through research and reading journal books or reading journals, what HIV and AIDS is and where it comes from. And where they say the woman's vaginal, that basically a woman can't get HIV through vaginal sex. It's anal. We're talking sex, but it's anal. Do your research. Read those medical journals. Read those medical journals about HIV and AIDS. And let them stop playing in your face, calling something HIV is really AIDS. They don't want you educated there. They don't want you researching. They don't want you reading those medical journals and research and all of that. They don't want you to do that. That's part of the reason why they're fucking around with PBS. I was in San Francisco and I was looking at Channel 9, KQED. And I was looking at some of the broadcasts that they had on PBS. I said, no wonder they want to get rid of PBS because they want you stupid. They want your kids stupid. They on here sounding out words, at, for at. Too many vowels. Too much learning. Too much education. Right? Again, boomers and Gen X failed again as parents. Then you have a new breed of parents, which are millennials. Do your kids know their vowels? Do they know the difference between upper and lower case? We already know that they don't know how to handwrite. Do they know how to borrow and subtract? Do they know how to multiply? Do they know how to use a multiplication chart? At least. Does your kid know how to use an old school calculator? Do they know that sometimes Y could be used as a vowel? Do they know that GI can sound like a J? Do they know that CE or CI can sound like an S? Do they get confused between K and QU? And then you're wondering why they're investing and trying to remove educational resources. They told us on December 25th, there was a bombing in Nigeria. But do the Nigerians know this? Because they act like that shit did not exist. But it's very interesting how they said that on December 25th, Nigeria had a supposed bombing the day of the closing of the Jubilee. The Jubilee opened on the, was it 2024, but then it closed the 2025. So the day of the closing of the Jubilee. You have people from Ghana talk about it's going to be another rapture. What is going on here? Why they keep playing in our faces? They're talking about 9/11 now was really an African-based war. Had nothing to do with the Middle East, even though the Middle East is connected to Africa, but we just want to, play a game. Why are they saying it was the Egyptians that was the real energy behind 9/11? They said Africans. Let's per se, they said it was the Africans. Still governmental, but Venezuela. We don't know when that shit happened with Venezuela. How in the fuck are you gonna go kidnap a whole president from another country? That's war crimes. Crimes against humanity. How in the fuck can you talk about that you taking over countries like Nigeria and all throwing bombs in Venezuela, but it doesn't run through Congress? So we don't learn about government, political science, whatever. So you telling me a man with dementia is throwing weight without Congress, without understanding? And then they entertain us with 20 pictures of different men who were supposed to have been a Venezuelan president, and each picture he was being arrested wearing a suit and all type of different clothes, and being arrested by the army instead of the Navy SEALs, the Marine SEALs. And according to governmental frequency, if you research it, anytime that they do those type of arrests, is always the SEALs, the Marine SEALs. Research it, look it up. So why would the Army come in? And who were in the DEA? What's going on there? They've been talking about Venezuela and its cocaine distribution since the fucking 80s, since fucking 60 Minutes already. And what? And notice this man who's on house arrest with dementia keep threatening all these countries that they let into America. Notice that. From China to India to Cuba, Colombia is going to be next. Everywhere they let all these people in is where they're doing all the takeovers. The Venezuelans been here. So how long ago did this really happen? That's why social media is fucked up. We need to create an energy of newspapers and real news. That's why they're trying to dismantle education, thesis and write-ups and journals, public television. Do you understand that here in the United States, we are seriously blocked? We are blocked more than ever. At least at one time on TikTok, a random person would be recording real shit. They blocked that. That's why I said it's so important to know the outside people who are living in these countries have a pen pal, so you can get some real news. So you can really understand what's going on in the universe and how things are reported. And America looks shit because America's lying to us. Now all of a sudden black people in their feelings because they're finding out that Venezuelans are racist as a motherfucker. They've been racist. And what? I don't believe shit about this. Sound like a tantrum. I want to know what country is America under that they not going through Congress, or is everybody just dead in Congress? Is everybody just dead? They're not alive. They have dementia. Is it Mark Rubio's who went and passed a note to Trump, dementia/house arrest patient, and he read that shit out? I thought it said I need some more cocaine on it, because you know that Rubio's allegedly he be on that cocaine. I'm really wondering who in the fuck cocaine that was when Biden was in office. This is bad more than ever. This administration, they all cocaine heads and they showing it. Kash Patel, we like, what? But he seemed like he on crack. I don't know, allegedly. Because you know they're pushing a new type of crack. That's why these third worlders who came through the border, they out in these other countries selling dope and drugs. They're not talking about that they didn't came to the border. These border monkeys, as we call them, border monkeys. Not talking about no black people, so don't get offended. They didn't push them to other countries. And they're in other countries like Germany, Brussels, Italy, France, all around the world. They selling drugs. And then you haven't noticed, since the border monkeys then ran over the border, have you guys noticed in New York for the New Year's Eve or whatever countdown, do you notice when they open the gates that all those are third world people? I think last year it was a whole bunch of African immigrants. This year they looked all Asian. And they dressed them up in New York gear. None of this is real. It's old. And they're just now presenting it to us without Congress. Right? When did they really go into Venezuela? Wouldn't that make more sense to why the Venezuelans are here like that? Why there's a whole bunch of Cubans here and a whole lot of people? Because they really went in and been in those countries cutting up. They're going to create a new type of mutated goblins. The way they're mixing. In Ireland, you're going to have a new type of Brazilian Irish goblins. We already have new goblins in Africa with the Chinese. They for real think that they the Wu. And you know Wu really means demon. Have you seen them, those new type of goblins that think they're fucking X-Men? And they all mix with some kind of African bloodline with Chinese, and they be jumping in the air and shit. I don't have time for those little warlocks. These gonna be new type of warlocks. Not everything's supposed to mix together with DNA. We're going to have a new type of sickle cell, new type of genetics. We can't even figure out what the fuck is going on with us now. But I can tell you what they're reporting is not real. It's not true. It's simple to say it's pertaining to land, drugs, whatever. That's simple. But it's not true. I was looking at the devil's advocate. Oh, okay. Bye. I was looking at the devil's advocate. Al Pacino and Keanu Reeves. The spirit kept connecting me back to it over and over and over again. Then I listened to a scene. I think it was one of the partners. It was a cocktail scene. It was some kind of party. The woman says, yeah, Trump was supposed to come. He was invited or whatever. I'm paraphrasing. But he couldn't make it because of da-da-da-da. And we understand that the devil's advocate was about shape-shifting demons. The devils. The demons. The devils. Right? Then what the fuck is that up in there? And the devil's advocate came out, what, in the 90s? J.D. Vance, we're finding out that's not even his real name. Now, who in the fuck is he? If J.D. Vance is not his real name, then who in the fuck is his wife? Who in the hell are these people? And they keep stuffing them down our throats. Who are they? They compare Trump to Queen Elizabeth, who died, when Queen Elizabeth was suffering from dementia. And we really don't know what she died from and how long that woman been dead. And he has the same bruising. The fuck? What the hell is going on here? Everything is fake. That's why I said, nigga, free season. Stop all this fake ass shit. We have social media that push this promotion. We are not tired of the conscious community pushing these pills and narcotics. We're not tired of Dr. Sebi bullshit. The shit is not real. I don't care about people getting their hustle, but how much more pills are we supposed to stuff down our throats? Why do they keep selling black people on third world shit? When Black Americans who are indigenous to America, we have our own energies, our own foundation here, and our own medicines that we don't have to go to the Caribbean islands or Africa or anywhere else to have nutrients or get well. We don't have to do that. So when I'm seeing Rizza Islam get these pills, some for women, some for men, and give all of these herbs, why are we taking that bullshit? They've been selling that shit since fucking Dick Gregory. My mother and them were following Dick Gregory. And I remember, I think in the 80s, Dick Gregory also came out with a some kind of smoothie mix. And they bought that shit. This has been going on forever. But I have questions about Rizza Islam. They created Rizza Islam after that federal court case of Medicaid scamming from his mother and siblings, because he was in Scientology or something like that. And they were hustling kids, hustling boys, I believe, and enforcing them under some kind of Medicaid, whatever. You could look it up. It's there. And it's like, we don't really know what really happened, but what I can learn from it, it seems like he's still in trouble from it. And then they created Rizza Islam. And then what they're doing is looping back around to bullshit, because what really made me like kind of trip was he was doing a promotion with some basketball team, I guess, in Los Angeles. Not basketball team, but like a youth basketball. And I was thinking, should he be around them kids? Considering he was already in trouble for pushing Medicaid or something, enforcing some shit. But then he was under Ronnie Steven. So if you put in Ronnie Steven in the case, it's not going to come up. But I think if you put in Rizza Islam, it'll come up and you can read about it. And then some people believe he was Rizza Islam before the case and the government is just after him because he helps people. No, he became Rizza Islam from what it looks like after it. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about, but that's what it appears. So they kind of buried that, and then it looked like there's some other document that's out there that they kind of denied him for some shit. And we can all say, yes, we all have a past, but we have to understand the past, because some of this shit is because these people are still incarcerated. He's still under federal case. Because in a real world, if he didn't take whatever deal, he'd probably still be in the feds for that Medicaid shit. So who in the fuck are these people in the conscious community? Nigga free season. There was a time that none of this shit would pass without us having a question. They over there having a Dr. Sebi clinic in Los Angeles. Why do we need a Dr. Sebi clinic? Then my question is, what is this connection with all these men, 6 men from The Wire dead, the show Wire, which is connected to drug energy, which all these bombings and everything in these certain countries is always connected to some kind of drug shit. You got the president of Cuba tripping, but Cuba is a mess. Mexico is a mess. You got Mexico over here in freaking Africa. You have sleeper cells around the world, especially in the United States. You have Middle Easterns pretending to be Mexicans and Mexicans to be pretending to be Middle Eastern, sleeper cells in different cities, switching up. You have something going on with Mexico and the Middle East. So what is the connection? Art imitates life. Why are 6 men from The Wire all dead? And then you have T.K. Carter, who was on that show called The Corner, and he played a dope fiend. He dead. The fuck is going on here? What is the connection? Now, this is some practical ass shit right here. But somehow it's connected to some kind of spirituality. Art imitates life. Everything has a loop and is connected in some kind of way, and is some kind of sacrifice. What the fuck? Then they had the audacity to take out Richard Smallwood. I almost fell the fuck out. But then over here, you had Donnie, but they over here accusing Donnie McKirkland of lewd acts. And I'm about tired of these grown ass people suing all these people. I don't give a fuck. Why do we give a fuck that now somebody's suing Tyler Perry? We haven't seen Tyler Perry for 10 years. Because they switch out these motherfuckers. Because the way they took out Richard Smallwood, I said, what the fuck did he do? Y'all out here having fun with Jamal Bryant's wife. That bitch is a harlot. And she makes me think she's a ranch. And then she had the audacity to get on a podcast to talk about church people need to stay out of pastors and them sexual frequency, their business. Church people don't get in pastor's sexual frequency. They just fuck the pastor. They don't get in your business of how you move and have sex and how you deal with your private life. They just go on and fuck the pastor. And the first lady ain't any better, because the first ladies be up there be lesbians like a motherfucker and be sneaky with the girls. Sometimes with the choir. So we need to find out the background of Jamal Bryant's wife, who had on that whore dress. Yes, in church terms, that's a whore dress. Who is she? And why is she on podcast talking? That's the new church? That's indignant. They out here then caught up Little House on the Prairie, Melissa Gilbert and her fucking husband, because he didn't mess around, probably her too, with some children. She's a child actress and so is he. Both of them. But I'm about tired of that world, because we understand that those kids are funneled and given to those people. We don't know where those kids coming from. We don't know the incubation. We don't know. But in reality, we can't give a fuck what's happening in recycled ass Hollywood when the shit is happening in the free world, in our world right now as civilians. There's whole households where all the kids are sexually assaulted. There are households where mothers traffic their daughters. There are households where fathers traffic their children. There are households where fathers are having sex with their boys and girls. So why would we give a fuck what's going on there when we have real fucking issues here? And in the black community, it's just now really coming out, but the shit has been going on. How many stories am I going to keep hearing about black daughters having 3 and 5 kids by their daddy? Or we're not going to talk about prison fathers who haven't seen their daughters for a minute, for some years, and just meet them and have sex with them? Come on now. That's the bigger issue. Why are we not talking about the mothers who traffic their children for these people to have? We don't want to talk about the kidnapping of children. That whole border shit, and we wondering how come we didn't see women and children. Maybe because they were stopped somewhere else, separated, and they went and took those kids and took them kids somewhere else. We don't want to talk about the various videos that Border Patrol recorded, or some people recorded in secrecy, or some people who had their cell phones, and how a lot of those traffickers tied up those children and kidnapped them. We're not going to talk about how in the United States, in the Americas, how they took some of them kids somewhere else. Underground prostitution. This is the real shit here. That's the real shit. Not this. They keep filling our heads with all of this social media entertainment shit. The thing about it is that and now what's happening is now they have these entertainers trying to tell us even how to be women. Fuck them bitches. Everything is a fucking lie. People out here tripped out because Ray J supposedly took sick or whatever, almost died. That nigga been dead. They traded out Ray J years ago. I was looking at something on social media how they traded out Cher and Sonny Bono years ago. I said, bitch, I knew I wasn't tripping. They talked about that with Elizabeth Taylor. I was tripped out when I seen the real LaToya Jackson. I said, bitch, that's LaToya. And LaToya was my color. They trade all these motherfuckers out. Michael Jackson was traded out. Been traded out. Just traded. Everybody traded. And now they've gotten so sloppy with it, they just do it right in front of us. Dave Chappelle straight traded out. All these niggas traded out. I don't know. Fuck the clones. Who are these motherfuckers? Is it face transplant? What is it? They've been playing Dave Chappelle show on social media. The old Dave Chappelle was funny as fuck. I don't know about this nigga. And the scary part is that they can trade you out. Do you know a face transplant is scary? That means the richest motherfucker can offer somebody, kidnap that person, I want their face. And cut your face right off you and plant it on somebody else? When I heard this white boy talking about he got one and his face, I was like, oh my, okay. And I know those Asians do it, but he was like, yeah, you know, Khloe Kardashian did it. Whose face did she steal? Who face did her mama steal? This is the shit that's happening. This is also shit that's happening outside of our country. We out here keep talking about the deal with the devil. Guess what? There is no deal with the devil. The devil is the insurance policies. When I seen that shit go on with Tommy Lee Jones' daughter, and she was murdered or killed up in the damn Fairmont Hotel. And then to myself, I was like, I've been in the Fairmont. I've stayed at the Fairmont. How? What? But Fairmont is old, and We're going to say allegedly. And the first thing that popped in my head was like, okay, so he must need money. Who does he owe? Who has an insurance policy on his arm? Can you imagine? You want to be famous. You want all these jobs. Okay, I'm going to put insurance policies on your whole family. And when need be, we'll just take them out and then we'll get our payment. We'll put a $7 million insurance policy on your daughter. And then you get an insurance policy and we'll give you a cut of it. Take her out. Can you imagine? That's the real deal. That insurance is that fucking deal. Jennifer Hudson, you wanna be famous? Okay, we're gonna take out your whole fucking family. More or less. No, let's put an insurance family on your family. Okay, yeah, like that. Take them out. Take out your whole fucking family over an insurance policy. And if they don't want your kids to get shit, they just kill everybody. NASCAR dude. Shit blew the fuck up. 2 kids, wife, him, dead. Bye, motherfucker. Nigga free season. Because we're going to stop playing these games and look at the real deal. Insurance policies. People have these fucking kids. You got Nick Cannon, got how many kids? And didn't one die? Shit, can you do an insurance policy? A certain type of insurance policy for birth? Who knows? Before birth? I don't know. Fuck how many kids you have. Fuck all that cult shit. It's money. Human bodies is money. Tiana Taylor and that fucking, you could tell that she just was it a casting couch whore? We all know fucking well she shouldn't have won no fucking Golden Globe. Who in the fuck is this? You're not even a real actress. You don't get respect. I say, damn, is she gonna sacrifice her whole daughters? Is there an insurance policy on top of them? Was it an insurance policy for her to build her body like that, look like a whole nigga? They got you women out here lifting weights, masculine like a man. Is different, and you know, doing a protein diet and, you know, for strength purposes, especially as you get older, that's different. But to have you outright looking like a whole man because your sponsor is gay, I'm like, who she sleeping with African men, Middle Eastern men? Because these are not the same casting couch. And the biasness within the sponsorship. I was listening to Jill Scott. She was in London, and they were asking her in so many words, when are you going to go on tour? And she was dropping lugs and saying like, shit, I'm just perfect. I need a sponsor. But they over here sponsoring Erykah Badu, but that's because Erykah Badu body is kind of masculine now. I said, damn, I understand it. I said, I don't get this weird energy between her and Erykah Badu. But they've been talking about Erykah Badu. They say she an ain't shit bitch. That be running bitches. Allegedly. Jill Scott is too fluffy. Too much of a woman. They don't want to sponsor that. Unless she get into fetish shit, you know. If you don't have a sponsor, you ain't going far. Tiana Taylor, she has a good sponsor. Bought her that Golden Globe. Bought her in a movie to be with DiCaprio and Sean Penn. Did you see the actors in that movie? And I think some black women felt the ways about her role because they say it was kind of mammy-ish. We got to stop playing with what they're telling us here, right? When I'm talking about the insurance stuff, I was thinking about Charles Manson, and I was thinking about how that Charles Manson with the whole helter skelter shit, that alleged homicides. All these homicides that are happening in Hollywood, they're motherfuckers, right? Murders, but they good insurance policies. What's his name? Rob Reiner? That's a good insurance policy, but that seemed like that happened years ago. And what's going on in New Mexico? How come these entertainers be living in New Mexico? But get back on task. The energies with Charles Manson, even though we know that he wasn't even part of that shit, they just used him. But Sharon Tate, did y'all really investigate that story and who in the fuck was up in that house? Do you understand the type of insurance money and frequency for that Folgers lady, the heiress who died, who they killed? She's buried with us over there at that Hollywood cemetery place. But my question is, where in the fuck did Sharon Tate baby go? Because she was pretty far along. And they be taking out them babies at 6 months. Can you imagine that they actually delivered the baby? And she was really having twins? Or I'm just saying, but all along we've been watching Sharon Tate descendants. Because they never said what happened to the baby. She was pregnant. So I'm sure they would have cut that baby out of her. I'm not being rude. I'm just kind of looking at it for what it is. Let's really look at the occultism. But what type of insurance was Sharon Tate under? Right? And you guys aren't suspicious with all of these abandoned cemeteries, and now there's a whole bunch of grave robbers stealing corpse and bones. Funeral homes that are left abandoned and they still in ashes. That don't seem a little occult like. Is there something with the United States to abandon cemeteries and then go on and use the dead bodies for something? I was listening to this girl. She's blind, and somehow she came up, on my Instagram. She blind, and she wears a turban, and she says that she's a blind witch that's depressed, and she kind of regurgitates shit that she's heard. And I seen one of my spiritual constituents had responded to one of her posts, the Sagittarius. I'm going to talk to you. And so, because you know better to be, talking to layman people. And I'm listening to her, and she was talking about doing spell work with Popeye's chicken bones. And you could fuck up people with them chicken bones from Popeye's chicken. And I said, this girl gonna have all these damn motherfuckers out here binding up motherfuckers and killing and breaking legs and shit with Popeye's chicken bones and shit. And I found it very interesting because that's a different type of work, and you have to be careful, with that type of frequencies and messing around with people's bones and skulls and so on. And then I found it most interesting because I was like, where did she uproot from? And what is this movement? Are we going to have the new blind movement of pretend mediums who are blind, and we're going to listen to them thinking that they know shit? I don't trust anything blind that look dead. I don't care if you be like, oh, that's fucked up. I'm being truthful, and that's my spirituality. Because I'm like, what do you see? What do you look at? Because I know you in darkness, and I know you being talked to by them demons. And when I was looking at her, I can see the energy all over her. And I said, oh, she's a motherfucker. I said, but I'm wondering what is more uprooting, because it looks very ancestral with her, like them old school blind witches. And her energy seemed very white. Like she summons the white witches. So I said, so is this what we're doing? Is this going to be the new Capola? So if you want to understand the reason why I don't trust blind people, because I think they're dead. I think they're the walking dead. They're zombies. I'm not being rude or disrespectful or prejudiced. I'm just being watchful. They be trying to hit you with their blind stick and shit. Why you do that? They be mean. Then sometimes I go to the left. I'm like, how in the fuck do blind people do drugs? Don't your demons say don't do that dope or heroin? I watch out for blind witches, because I know who you talk to. You're a zombie. You're the walking dead. Y'all sit up and say, well, God made them. No, he didn't. They come from hell. Y'all out here believing that goddamn story with Renee Good. Allegedly, she got murdered by the ICE people. Ain't nobody got murdered by no ICE people. They owe money. That's why it was GoFundMe. Them ICE people were acting. Y'all didn't watch how they were shooting? That looked like a prop gun. I said, that don't even look like a real gun. Sensationalism and excitement. Meanwhile, we're missing the ICE people molesting women. We're not hearing the real stories of at those ICE locations of how the men are assaulting men sexually. Then they had the audacity to say a black guy was shot by the ICE people. Come on now. What is really going on with this bullshit? So now we just gonna forget all about the Somalians then cut up and it was full of shit. And that, who is that over there trying to create a new country called Somaliland? This is getting crazier by the moment. Hell no, I don't believe that shit happened in Minnesota. Who donated to that GoFundMe? And where is that money going? Another George Floyd, huh? What the fuck is Minnesota a hub for? Because I know Minnesota is also indigenous land. But what's really going on? No, I don't believe it. Looks fake. Now they have something where allegedly they had dragged a woman. Now we're back in 2018, back in the witch war shit, creating witchy shit again, huh? So now we have new age occults coming up, and new age cults. We got Africans that are on the scene creating bullshit ass stories. We got men joining Mama Wata, which that's not what that's for. Okay? Pushing African witchcraft. We have monks or whatever talking about monks. I think monks walking for peace. No, what you have up in them bags? Drugs? What you trafficking, man? Because we all know that y'all on crystal meth and crack. The monks. And how in the hell do they, how was it Atlanta? How does that happen? You got women on social media talking about prison, how to put a man in prison, a long ritual to put a man in prison. Well, you don't have to figure out how to put a black man in prison. All you got to do is call 911 and they'll just put him in jail for any fucking thing or accuse a black man for shit. So you don't have to create spell work to put a man in prison, and you shouldn't be throwing that type of work on social media. This is the shit I'm talking about. We got Pastor Mike Keys then sat up, put his wife under, rain down on me, Kirk Franklin. He cussing her the fuck out. We need to revert and stop these men from using the Bible and Psalms on women to do work. I told you, gospel is really for men, because women, we are spirit. Men are them angels that sing, especially in Revelations. You got to understand some things. And there's a way to turn that around, them psalms off of men putting it on you. It's a way. Trust and believe. They were talking about that Erica Kirk, Charlie Kirk's wife, is pregnant. Who's she pregnant by? Because it's not by Charlie Kirk. I'm about tired of them talking about New York's mayor's wife. What's her name? Rama Dawaji? Whatever. That she's the shit. She's a fashionista. I said, that bitch looked like she smelled like myrrh. She looked like she doesn't take showers and her clothes are clunky. What are they talking about? They just say anything on social media. She's fashion. She's this. She's that. She's that. I said, these bitches don't know what the fuck they talking about. She looked like Roblox. I see them women all the time, especially in San Francisco. You see that all the time. Those are herbal mothers. Have children and they be carrying their babies in pea pods. Smell like roots from a tree. I don't have time to be hearing about that hoax ass whole marriage, that hoax political bullshit. The fuck? People just say anything. It's fashionable. I was looking at something. What's her name? Kim Whitley? What type of lie is she on for Feed the Children? She sounded ridiculous. Have y'all been seeing her commercials, Kim Whitley? Can they stop these entertainers from talking? I seen, what's his name, Dion Cole. He went and accused Phyllis Hyman of heckling him. And I said, Phyllis Hyman died in 1995, so when did she heckle him? Because he would have been in his 20s back then. And I said, Phyllis Hyman didn't heckle this nigga. He lying. They just having these niggas up here lying. Nigga free season, stop. We still trying to figure out what the fuck happened to Phyllis Hyman. Because I know Whitney Houston stole her energy. It's very clear. Because after she died, Whitney Houston blew up and then stole her whole persona. It's above y'all pay grade. Just like they keep bothering with Millie Jackson. I'm like, I don't understand how come Millie Jackson is not recognized the way she should be recognized, because every whole bitch then sat up and copied her whole persona. And you see how she told it like it is about Aretha Franklin. I said, that's that fucking Aries and Cancer relationship. I don't think y'all even know the real dynamics between a Cancer and an Aries. Y'all didn't know that Aries and Cancers, and Aries be in competition with Cancers sometime, and they can do it better? A fact. I don't got time to hear from you, Aries, because I know how you guys are. Y'all get real offended. I don't give a fuck. I'm right. That's why that Cancer walked up on that Aries. Because Millie Jackson knew the what's up. Like, But we could be friends. Cancer and Aries, we could be friends. More and more, as you look at a lot of deflated entertainers, you will see the ones that they hype up are them. I'm about tired. I told you of 50 cents. Now he on Ja Rule and Marlon Wayans. What's up with Marlon Wayans? Why is 50 cents on Marlon Wayans? We all know that these New York niggas are interesting. When I heard that dude talk about Busta Rhymes, I'm like, okay, big deal already. We already know. We understand enough as women. We have to stay away from Busta Rhymes because he will kick our ass. And I said, why is that Cancer after that Pisces and Leo? But we know that's not fucking 50 cents. We know that's not him. Anthony Joshua, that boxer dude who supposedly got in that car accident, the buck that they keep having him with his clothes off, that he didn't set up and got that insurance money on his friends. Jake Paul, they're probably going to switch him out because he didn't malfunction and his jaw broke. So they need to trade him out. He's damaged. That jaw went tick, tick, tick. That's it. Is it going to come back? It is. They went in and they went and helped him up out that wrecked ass vehicle that didn't make sense because it didn't make sense. What hit it? What happened? That car was crushed. So I said, oh, they must have either put him in that car or pretending. And the Africans, they're horrible actors. You could tell it's on bullshit. Aren't y'all tired of Serena Williams and them? I'm tired of that fake ass Serena Williams, because I know that's not her. But you see how they didn't married off their other sister to a white man. Right? Aren't y'all tired of white folks? Did y'all hear about that story of how the New England area, how it had the indigenous people in New England back in the day? In some hundreds, maybe 15, maybe before there, maybe a little, no, maybe 14, whatever. I think it's with the Puritans or the whoever, Pilgrims, the murals that came to America. But just to say all of that, did you see how they went, seeing that the indigenous people were eating them damn oysters, killed all the damn indigenous people, sent them away so they can go and monopolize on the oysters? There's so much shit to what's going on the kidnapping of America and its resources, and how these people seen money in everything and killed the people because they wanted the fucking oysters. Aren't y'all sick of Tory Lanez? Aren't y'all sick of how many appeals that they didn't gave Tory Lanez? And in a normal world, that doesn't happen. Aren't you kind of sick of them sensationalizing shit so things can be promoted? Don't you think that's fucked up to have Krishan go to the hood, start this fight breakout? She's allegedly boxing niggas, which I don't think that was her. And then for her just to come out to be sponsored as a boxer. Is that what we're going to keep doing? I was forced to go see that crazy ass movie Primate. That damn chimpanzee. I think it was a midget in a costume. And now we're in fear of all of these damn primates running around in America. Because in this movie, it had not herpes, but rabies. Because apparently a mongoose bit it. A mongoose. And it seemed like a very kind of white kind of energy movie. But just to say all of that, they got some fucking monkeys in fucking St. Louis. They had them in New Orleans. They have them in the Carolinas. They just got all these monkeys rolling around in America for us to go see that movie Primate. We still trying to figure out that monkey business going on in Louisiana. Because, you know, it was stuffed with some stuff. Them damn monkeys that was in that good Louisiana into Mississippi or something, I don't know. That was wealth. That was wealth. Y'all think I'm crazy? That was some wealth up in the tummy. It was some wealth. Just saying. My spiritual constituents was telling me over there in that Philadelphia, she started working for this Indian who has a home health care business. Anyway, he has scrubs in the drawer. She went to go get the scrubs. He had Indian deities over the scrubs. She went and got the scrubs. And I told her, why in the hell working with me would you ever go get a scrub that's Indian? So she ended up going, she know who she is. She ended, and you know, she should fucking know better than working with me. She went on and bought her some scrubs, but she'll know who I'm talking about because we're going to have a one-on-one. because we're going to have a further discussion about that one. Anyway, I said, why in the hell would you go do that? So more and more, they're out here in these third world countries praying over our clothes. So they didn't set up Clown China, but now high-end clothes are being created and made in India. So Balenciaga, if you look it up, it's in India. So they just going to keep with these fabrics fucking up our pancreas and our kidneys and our gallbladder. With these cheap ass clothes, with these fucked up ass fabrics. And then have their deities over it. I mean, they just constantly doing work. Like I said, my son, I told him, don't get food from DoorDash. He did it anyway. They had teeth in his food. And then he showed it to me. That's spell work. The Mexicans always doing some shit like that. It was a Mexican restaurant. It was teeth in his food, human teeth. I need to understand Lauren London's son is this is an old story. Lauren London's son is going to receive $5.6 million. For Nipsey Russell. And then in addition, Marathon Clothing. This is old news. And 5.6 mil, that's just money owed to her. You see, isn't it Lil Wayne's son and what's her name? Northwest gonna do a demonic ass rap scene together? Them kids? Because they've been switched out. They have this fake ass The Weeknd's talking about that he's gonna sell his catalog for $1 billion. I don't know who that is pretending to be him, but okay. But then let alone, we're not suspicious of all of these entertainers investing in low-income housing. Do you understand that that's connected back to tithing? It goes back to the Hershey effect. How Hershey's, the owner of Hershey's or whatever, went and stole from the people, from the island people, whatever, Caribbean people, to make chocolate. Well, it's in Central and South America, but wherever it is, where he got all of his ingredients and shit, he thought he was helping out the poor people. But then to find out, he was in so many words saying this is a form of tithing. So they're out here causing an impoverished environment, impoverished society for corporate entities to come back. Act like that they're giving you a job just for them to get richer. So all this weird investment, talking about low income, the money's in low income, just to create a different type of business deal later, or profit, but it still goes back to tithing to make them richer. We all know that's just an investment. Understand that shit. They be working with that Bible on your ass. They went and took away the works for them to do and not you. And that's why they're now causing all this confusion in the occult world, because they don't want shit to work for you. Because they're doing it. And they didn't took the Bible for you, for them to use. That's wild. And aren't y'all about tired of, I'm like, are these people dead or not? There's so many people that they're saying online that's dead. But you like, but they still alive. Like, what the fuck is going on? Now the new face of bipolarism or bipolar mania are black women. I've seen those ads. Have you been seeing this nasty looking white woman and she's humping around, and I think it's called Naughty Girl. It's called Naughty Girl Fitness. What is this? And everybody talk about, oh, that looks fun. All levels. You have this white girl in pink, Naughty Girl, twerking, doing all this shit that black women do. And what's this? And I said, this look odd. Aren't y'all tired of that spell work? Everything black women do that's considered nasty, now the white girls are taking it, monopolizing it, and getting money off of it. There's a new era, and it's called the messy girl era. So you're supposed to go around as a messy person. Pamela Anderson, of course, was at the Golden Globe. But isn't it very interesting how they have suppressed a lot of these entertainers? And the bottom line is that it is a loop. It's a circle. It's recycled energy, right? But we're going to start seeing movies pertaining to them and their psychosis. And we're not going to know it's them. Like, for example, Pamela Anderson is the fucking actress on that horror movie Weapons with that movie. They had Pamela Anderson looking just like that woman. Or is that Pamela Anderson for real, for real? That bitch crazy as fuck. Had the haircut and everything. Looking just like that woman on Weapons with the red hair. Listen, they're going to create a movie about Ice-T's son-daughter, because I don't know what that is. I think that movie was already made, because I think the movie is actually what's that camp movie that came out in the 80s? Sleepaway Camp? Okay, so in the 80s, there was this movie called Sleepaway Camp, right? And then we found out that the sister is really a guy. And every time I look at Ice-T's child, because I don't know what it is, I said, that child looked like that entity, deity, and whatever that was on Sleepaway Camp. It's going to be a movie. It's going to be a movie about Ice-T's child. You're going to see a creepy movie. The child going to look just like that kid. And you'll be like, what the fuck? You're going to be hella scared. You're going to be scared as fuck. They done switched out Glorilla. I don't know what this is. I don't know. There's some other energies going on. They even took out the little woman that was in the fucking wheelchair on fucking Different Strokes, Melanie Watson. They didn't took her out too. They just taken out every goddamn body. When they took her out, I almost fell out again. I didn't know what the fuck was going on. And then I'm over here like, why in the hell are they showing us? I don't know if these are two husbands or what. They apparently, Usher and the person he's with, they're having a baby or twins. And I look very closely. I don't know about that one. I think those are two husbands, because, you know, they be scamming us with these kids and stuff. And how come the first baby of the New Year's is some third world Africans? Did y'all know that the Chicago mayor is not even Americanized, or what is he? They saying he everything other than being an American black. And why are y'all trying to kick out Nicki Minaj? You know she's caught up. We haven't seen Nicki Minaj for almost 5 years? So we don't know what's going on here. So remember when I said that they're out here talking about these people are dead? They said Gabrielle Douglas is dead. She died in 2024. Are these people really dead? They said Ruben Studdard is dead. They say he's been dead for years. The hell? Aren't you about tired of Africa doing all these businesses with all these other countries? Then the other countries come in and take over and then beat their ass? I've been seeing that a lot. This is the young lady I think I'm talking about. Is this her? I don't know. But I can't get her name. Let me see. I'll find it in a minute. Angel Reese announced she will not be playing in the WNBA because she makes more money prostituting, allegedly. Mickey Rourke, rich poor, living a paycheck to paycheck. Mickey Rourke is looking like, what's his name from Halloween? Remember when they took off his mask in Halloween and you're like, what the fuck? Remember, I think the original Halloween, the first one, and remember what he looked like? Is his name Michael Myers? Michael Myers. Or is that Friday the 13th? Well, the dude from Halloween, the scary person from Halloween. That's who Michael York looked like. Because we're going to, stop these people from playing games with us, right? In Seattle, the Boys and Girls Club then got busted because they were selling dope. Makes you wonder why they closing all those organizations down like Job Corps. Makes you wonder why they dismantled the police department and all that, because there's always something connected to dope, drugs, trafficking, and muling. The fuck? Fetty Wap and got his ass out of jail. I don't believe that's Fetty Wap. Just like that's not Blueface. Now Blueface is selling his house. That's because that's not Blueface, allegedly. Because Fetty Wap looking a little different. Oh, this is the other person that allegedly got shot. Keith Porter. Up in Orange County, somebody went into Whole Foods and stole all that goddamn caviar. Now that's some real news. And I don't blame them. That shit is expensive. Here's some more silly shit. DMX will be, what is it? Post Malone, I don't know what that is. Ordained as a minister this week. Are they lying? See what I'm talking about? This fake ass news? That doesn't make sense. See, have you reading that dumb shit? The smokehouse destination owner is jealous of Mr. Tenderism. Niggas gotta stop. Black men better stop. Niggas better stop working for these people. This man did monopolized on this senior citizen who can barbecue. And again, this was all over that energies with what's his name? Keith Lee. And that $5,000 tip. And like I had talked about it before with that Orlando Brown shit. Why would we be eating at these places? Why would Orlando Brown even own any restaurant? We just eat anything. These are just a whole bunch of sponsors. This is the dumb shit that's been going. This is the news. And everything's a fucking lie. Dumb shit. It's unbelievable. We just under all type of fucked up ass spell work. New fucked up ass new age magic, false ass news, false ass wars, insurance policy deaths, ICE having just doing dummy shit. Everything is dumb. Anyway, this is Weird Renegade Witches Blog. Hit us up when you want some real motherfucking work done.